and 2 and 1.
Hi, welcome back to another episode of the Sheppard Show. It's July for us, which means it's August for you. And this week or month, we are going to talk about fitness. But before we jump into all that, we want to introduce who we are.
Hi, my name's James, and I'm wearing this headband because my hat's in the shop.
I'm Ben, I'm the video guy, and I can't remember the last time I was in the gym.
And I'm John Martin. It's a long title. You ready for this? Base Operational Support Team Strength Conditioning Coach.
All right, my name is Chris. I am the base sports coordinator on base, and I am one of the lead personal trainers at the fitness centers, and I'm into fitness.
So, John, appreciate you joining us today. Talk about BOST. What is it and why is it important?
Well, appreciate you having me. So the Base Operational Support Team is actually a brand new concept coming to the Air Force. The initiative started back in 2017, 2018, I believe, with the previous Chief of Staff. And so what it is, it's a play off of, have you ever heard of POTF, which is Preservation of Force and Family. It's special. Yeah, it's another big gigantic title.
Yeah.
But it was specific to the special operations community.
Okay.
And so basically you had SMEs, subject matter experts, embedded with these special operators, which is one of my job. My specialty is strength and conditioning coach, athletic trainer, physical therapist,
motivational speaker.
Motivational speaker.
Sometimes.
And actually probably be a sports psychologist along those lines, licensed clinical social worker, those subject matter experts permanently embedded with those special operators. Well, what BOST is a play off of that. So what we do is we are a base asset, but we don't go into a specific unit and stay.
Yeah, we're localized to Sheppard.
Right, we're localized at Sheppard, and we go into a unit for 6 to 12 months. And what we do is we fix musculoskeletal injuries and mental health issues.
Oh,
so
cool.
We're a team of subject matter experts that try to help in those areas.
Nice.
That's awesome. And so we'll come back to real quick. So Chris, same question. Who is your daddy and what does he do?
Mine is not that cool.
We're going to play a wonderful game called Who is My Daddy and What Does He Do?
It doesn't have to. Ours
That
isn't
is
either.
a great historical background here.
That's why we had to invite you guys. We have no credibility at all.
All right, so I run the sports programs on base, basically set up intramural sports programs for the airmen training and the permanent party members.
So when you say sports programs, are we talking about like indoor snowboarding, surfing,
That's not-
lawn darts? Where are we at with that?
I think it's
I wish on all three of
yeah,
those.
probably
That would be
not in
awesome.
Texas.
That would be amazing. I think we could probably do the lawn darts, but pretty much it's the basic core sports: flag football, basketball, soccer, volleyball, softball,
Sport ball.
sport ball.
sportsing.
And we'll also try to do random sports, like we try to do spike ball tournaments and
Spike ball's fun if you
different
really
stuff
play
like
it.
that. Yeah. Yeah, it is fun if you get good at it.
Yeah, I'm super great at it.
It's super tough.
And you're a personal trainer too, right?
And I'm a personal trainer, so we offer free personal training at the fitness center, and we'll drop a program for military individuals and also civilians as well, help them meet their goals, and yeah.
Yeah,
personal training
so
stuff.
maybe Ben, you can set some goals and go see someone.
Oh yeah.
We should take a break.
Yeah, so now that we've
On that
gotten all
note-
the formalities out of the way, we do have to take a break. When we come back, we're going to jump into more fitness stuff for you. So stick around and we'll see you soon.
Hey, welcome back to the Sheppard Show. We're still talking about exercise, and we have these cool headbands on. Wanted to talk about fitness from a...
Yes, we've established that. Yes.
Yeah, we are talking about fitness. I'll say it one more time. John, Chris, I've just joined the Air Force. Maybe fitness wasn't my jam before I joined the Air Force. It was more video games.
Sure.
And pizza, which was mine, is still my jam. But now fitness has to be a part of my life because it's part of my career.
Absolutely.
How do we approach that for new airmen without it becoming a personality trait, I guess.
And of course, there's nothing wrong with that.
Sure, yeah.
So as long as you get up and move a little bit.
Right.
So, in terms of fitness, from my standpoint, what we're trying to do is kind of change the mindset, whether you're coming in or you've been in for 10 years, 15 years, to think about fitness in a different light. And so what we want airmen, sailors, soldiers, and Marines to think about is that instead of thinking about getting fit for your fitness test, you're getting fit to fight. And so you're operational, you're ready for anything that's coming at you. And so that fitness program needs to be well-rounded and solid in order to be able to handle anything that's thrown at you when you're deployed.
Right.
So, the fitness test is secondary. So if you have a well-rounded, solid strength and conditioning program, that's what I call it. You call it a fitness program. You can name it whatever you want. If it's well-rounded and solid, the fitness test is an afterthought.
Yeah,
you should be able to pass. You should be able to pass.
James
anything.
and I both kind of fell into the category of I'm doing my 1.5 mile run twice a year. I'm cheating on my push-ups. Whatever.
I never cheated on my push-ups
first or whatever. But no, I'm joking.
Yeah.
But
I ever did. Yeah,
but at the beginning, you're in good shape. You're cocky or whatever. You just got a boot camp or whatever. The first few years, it's okay. It does get harder, and it does kind of just come out of nowhere. Literally between, maybe a year or maybe a long deployment where maybe you weren't as active as you should have been.
Absolutely.
And then you come back, and then that 1.5 mile run all of a sudden is like, wow, what happened?
Right. And I think the issue, the bad cycle that a lot of active duty members get into is they're working out for the test, and so they wait maybe 6 weeks out before test time to do that. And so I think what that does is that causes a lot of anxiety and stress for a lot of people because they're not doing something year-round. And if you're doing something year-round, like I said before, if it's well-rounded, a solid strength and conditioning program or fitness program, the fitness test is an afterthought.
Yeah.
You should be able to pass anything.
Chris,
and then the focus is that I want to be operational. I want to be ready for the fight and be able to handle anything that's thrown at me.
all
And
times.
I also think, too, the Air Force is coming around as well with implementing the hammer test and, not just make it, hey, I'm going to be really good at push-ups, sit-ups, and running 1.5 miles.
I had heard rumors that they were making some changes in terms of like not just push-ups and sit-ups, because in real life, why would you ever need to do those to like accomplish something, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Versus here's some practical thing. I don't know if they've moved.
Well, the things that are being bantered about, I think, up above us is, making, I know, right? Making fitness tests more AFSC specific.
Right.
So I know.
Oh, that's interesting.
I think they're maybe looking at some of those things. Nothing in stone as of yet. As you've seen the Air Force or the Army test, they made some really significant changes with that.
Yeah.
Marine Corps has done the same thing. Navy has done the same thing. So I think the Army is looking at the same thing as what is specific to your job. And that brings me to another point. We want to make fitness functional. So I think what's happening is we're kind of getting away from the cookie cutter, commercial fitness type of setting. And what we want to make sure that we're doing is we're training for the fight. And I think that's the big thing.
Yeah,
so,
I think there's been a lot of, we were talking about that this morning, just changes in what, I'm old now, but when I was a kid in the 80s, when we were kids in the 80s, and He-Man and Arnold Schwarzenegger and Predator and stuff like that, not every little boy, but there are probably that's what fitness was, right? And now it's more dudes do yoga and their back doesn't hurt all the time, and they're just functionally fit for their existence versus aesthetics.
And so let's kind of unpack that a little bit
Well,
and break that down.
We gotta take a quick break.
Okay.
We're going way over on time, but when we come back, we're gonna pick up right where we left off. So stick around, and we'll see you soon.
Hey, welcome back to the Sheppard Show. John was just about to unpack something. Ben?
Yeah, I'm actually glad I'm wearing my sweatband because it's pretty hot in here, and I am starting to get kind of sweaty.
Yeah.
But back to the actual point. On the last segment, we were just talking about, traditional kind of PT tests and fitness as a whole, and how maybe possibly unofficially, I don't know if I could add any more adjectives to that, the military might be looking at job-specific regiments. Can you expand on that a little bit more, John?
Sure. The other branches have gone to more of a test that kind of reflects what they do every day in their job. And so I think the Air Force is looking at that as well. So maybe AFSC specific, task, and then trying to come up with some fitness testing that might resemble that. And so that's kind of what they're looking at. So, like I said, nothing written in stone, but more to come on that.
But are there any exercises they're looking at right now,
or? Nothing specific as I'm aware of. So
I saw something about like them guys moving like munition cans, like dragging like. I don't know.
When are they going to break Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu?
That would be cool.
That might be down the road. That
Capoeira,
could be more, that could be more special
Capoeira
operator
on your
specific.
PT
So
test?
Joke's
on you. I'm super good at capoeira.
So maybe we won't be doing any jiu-jitsu testing in the near future, but I know from an EOD standpoint, security forces standpoint, they are looking at doing some specific testing for them. I know there's doing some beta testing for security forces. EOD has been in doing some beta testing for a number of years. They've been tweaking an AFSC specific test for them.
So they're trying to get there.
They're trying to get
the comm guys should not be taking the same test as the cops.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, comm will be a little bit different.
CPTS, we're looking at you.
Yeah, yeah. So bottom line, looking at
doing a great job.
Like we've talked about before, get into that rabbit hole where you're doing fitness for the fitness test, and your fitness program or your strength and conditioning program needs to be more than just running push-ups and sit-ups. It needs to be well-rounded, and so to unpack that a little bit, strength training, weightlifting is very, very important. Specifically, one example would be the deadlift.
Yeah.
Deadlift is so functional. So all of us have at some point in time reach down and pick something up off the ground. And so you brought up ammunition boxes, and so that's specific. You have to pick up that ammunition box. You have to carry it a certain amount of a distance, and so
a baby, a dog, your cell phone.
Absolutely, that requires core and trunk strength. And so, what in the gym could mimic that? And deadlift is a perfect example of that.
So we actually went out with you, previously, and we actually did you demonstrated some exercises for us, including the deadlift. So we want to take a look at the proper form and the correct way to do that. Chris was an excellent helper during that as well.
He was a great model. He was
pretty,
especially with the long hair.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
Beautiful.
But we're gonna pass it off. So we're gonna watch this demo. This is how you do a proper deadlift, and then when we come back, we're gonna pick up where we left off. So we'll see you soon.
It's a Biggie beat.
Hey.
Hey everybody, this is Coach John Martin. I'm the base operational support team strength and conditioning coach, and today we're going to learn how to do deadlift. All right, I'm going to hand Chris back the PVC pipe. Okay, so to keep the deadlift fairly simple, because it can get complex, we're going to break it up into two parts. All right, first part is going to be from the ground, all right, to just above our kneecaps. Second part is going to be just above the kneecaps up to where we stand up with it, okay? So what we're going to do is have Chris get into that starting position, okay? The other thing is our hand position is the same as we used for the shoulder press. Interesting, okay? So it's going to be that narrow grip. All right, he's going to have his arms outside of his legs, okay? One thing that you notice, he's got great back position. We want a 45-degree back, all right? So what we're going to have him do is lift that bar off the ground. All right, he's going to stop at the kneecaps. So what we're trying to do from the shins to the kneecaps is push the hips and the knees back towards the wall behind him and keep that 45-degree angle with his back. All right, that's very important. If we get out of that 45-degree angle, that's where we can hurt our back, okay? And then the other thing to note is the shoulders rise above the hips. Shoulders always go first, the hips follow, all right? So basically what we're trying to do here is keep that bar in a straight line by doing all those cues, okay? And then from here, all he's going to do is use his hips to rotate and stand up with the bar. And his finished position will be where his knees are straight, his hips are straight, his shoulders are behind the bar. He's finished the movement, okay? And in order to take it back down, we're just going to reverse what we did, bringing it up, okay? So he's going to rotate at the hips, all right? And then he's going to squat a little bit with his legs, and boom, he's back at the beginning part of the deadlift. The one thing that we're going to do to change it a little bit, we're going to have him keep that PVC pipe in contact, all right, with his shins, all right? So here's the deal with that. What we want to make sure we do, we have no space between the bar and our body. If we do, what we can do is end up hurting our back, okay? So we'll have Chris do a set of 10. Since we've cued him on a few things, we'll have him go ahead and do a set of 10 in live motion. Go ahead, Chris. Keep that bar in contact with your legs. Good. All right. And again, the key is we want one straight line with that bar going straight up. Okay. So from shins to knees, we're pushing the knees and the hips back. Go ahead and keep going. Okay. Pushing the knees and hips back. Once he gets it above the kneecaps, he's rotating around the hips, standing up with the bar. Okay. So the critical piece is from the floor to the knees, all right? We want the shoulders above the hips, nice 45-degree angle with the spine, all right? Once he's above the knees, we rotate around and we finish, okay? And that looked great. He changed some things as he was doing that. He corrected himself, all right? And it also helps with those coaching cues, okay? Providing a person coaching cues, a lot of times they'll loop that in their head, keep that in mind as they're doing that exercise, okay? So we did it with the PVC pipe, so here's a real test. We're gonna load him up a little bit with a 45-pound bar and see if he can duplicate that movement pattern, okay? All right, Chris, go ahead and grab the bar. Let's do the same exact thing that we did with the PVC pipe, okay? So we'll start mid-shin. All right, and usually the reason we start mid-shin, if you have bumper plates on the end of the bar, that's where you're going to start. All right, that's where the bar is going to set on the floor. All right, so go ahead and let's execute. Good, keep that bar in contact with your legs all the way through. All right, we never want any space between the bar and our body. Anytime we have space between the bar and the body, that's where we create a lot of stress on the spine. We want to keep as much, not any stress on the spine as possible, all right? All the stress we want is in the legs and the glutes and in that back musculature, okay? And he's doing an excellent job, okay? Keeping that bar in contact from shins to knees. Back position's great. Shoulders are coming above the hips. Once he's above the knees, he's rotating. He's finishing the lift, full extension with the knees and the hips. Shoulders back behind the bar. Outstanding. You can go ahead and rack it. Great job, Chris. And that is deadlift.
Welcome back. Thanks for sticking around. And that is the proper, what we just saw was the proper way to do a deadlift without pulling a muscle or breaking your back. Again, John, Chris, thanks for hanging out and doing that with us. James?
Nice.
Great segue.
Yeah. So, Chris, I've known you a while now because I would come up to the gym sometimes, like bring a snack, and I would sit on the couch and eat a snack at the gym.
How'd that last basketball game go?
Because the air conditioning.
You just kind of watch people work.
You could cut to that picture. The last time I went to play basketball and blew my
I've got it.
Chris rushed over to help me, but before he did, he took a picture. Anyway, I realize that you're in fantastic shape now. We're the same age, if you can't tell, even though he looks like he's 25. You weren't always this. I knew a different version of Chris when I first met you.
Yeah,
we'll call him Fluffy Chris.
Yeah.
So what were some changes that you made in your life to
Get in shape.
get in better shape?
Well, I mean, I was a college athlete, and I think like a lot of athletes after they quit playing sports,
Right, they don't know how to eat.
Yeah, you don't have to work out anymore, so I'm not going to work out anymore. I'm going to keep eating the way I was, and just like you, we could eat whatever we want till probably like 27 or something. And then
28. It was exactly
28.
28.
Exactly. Yeah. Then it starts like catch on, and then you see a picture a year later, you're like, whoa,
What
bro.
happened?
And so yeah, I got up to like 280, 290 at one point, and not good weight. Like with my height, I was able to carry it kind of well, so I didn't really notice it too much. But then when you see a picture and you see your face and you're like, yeah.
So many chins.
Yeah, exactly. I think I was actually wearing like a Raiden Asian style hat, and I was like,
Nice.
bro.
This is my favorite picture. Please get us that picture so we can actually put it in.
I've been looking, I can't find it. I burned it a long time
I
ago.
remember going to the gym and you would just like, it was inspiring to me because I was watching you kind of transform creepily. But you were just like walking on the treadmill all the time, and I would see you in there, and then I would see you lifting and stuff. But,
yeah. No, it's and I think a lot of times like when you do get out of shape, and it sneaks up on you quick. I mean, we're in the COVID lockdown a couple years ago, and sitting at home and just
has it already been a couple of years?
Yeah,
bro, right? That's weird. But yeah, like a lot of times, like all right, I'm gonna change my habits. I'm gonna get in shape, and then I try to do what I was doing before, and then I'm
immediately
quickly discouraged. Like I can't keep doing that, and so I finally had a mindset shift, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna try to run as long as I can. If I can't, when it gets too hard, I'm just gonna walk 30 minutes to an hour. Eventually, baby steps, little by little, it gets easier.
It's consistency, dude.
Absolutely. I think it's the biggest thing I've learned over personal training over 10 plus years is that it's all in the mindset, man. It starts with the mind. You got to have a clear goal, and you have to give yourself grace. Like some days you're not going to feel it. Some days you're not going to meet those goals that you plan for. And but it's just adjusting and learning to love the grind.
Yeah.
I mean, love the grind. I mean, make little tweaks. As long as you're getting better a little bit every day, I mean,
Even
you're
if
going
it's
to make
walking.
progress.
And you
even
never-
just walking, absolutely.
And you never really like crest the hill where it's like I can have cake all the time now. I got to my goal weight, right? Like you have to
Absolutely.
change your whole. We probably need to take a break.
Yeah, I was going to say, speaking of
of break.
cake, we want to pick this up with diet and how important diet is. So we'll go ahead and take a break. When we come back, that's what we're going to not stealthily transition into.
Yeah, I
So
do
stick
love
with
cake.
us. We'll see you soon.
Welcome back to the Sheppard Show. We're still talking about fitness. We were talking with Chris, who is now Fit Chris versus Fluff Chris. I like both versions of you, by the way.
Thanks,
I
man.
was a fan.
Appreciate you.
Stay Puff Chris.
Yeah, Stay Puft Chris, still my favorite guy. He
Bring it
wasn't
back.
even that heavy. He's just in really good shape now. Diet. I'm sure it's vital. I know it is. I'm sure changing your diet was vital. Let's talk about diet a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, diet's huge. I think the numbers are played around with a lot, but usually they say it's 70%, 30%, 7% diet or 8% diet.
Yeah, I always hear like you can't outrun a crappy diet. right?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
Especially as we get
Bet.
older, you can't. You definitely can't.
Ben,
So, I mean, just along the same lines as like, starting somewhere, like, I wanted to try different things. I tried out intermittent fasting, tried out keto. I even did vegan for a week. That was
rough.
actually
James
felt pretty
tried
good,
Adderall.
but it's tough to make
It's
your
true.
meals out of vegan meals like consistently for a week. But yeah, like intermittent fasting worked really well for me.
I like that one.
Yeah, and I think it's everybody's body is different, and you got to find kind of what works for you. Intermittent fasting and keto definitely, like I stuck to it for a month, and it was huge. Like I dropped around 20, 30 pounds in a month.
So with what I've heard with keto is you drop weight, you shred it fast, but it comes back just as fast as soon as you resume kind of a normal diet. Is that true? Is there any?
Well, let's back up for a second. Nutrition is the foundation of everything. So it doesn't start with fitness. It starts with what we're putting in this machine. So that's the first and foremost thing that you need to tweak. So with keto, there's some good things about it. There's some bad things about it. The problem with keto is that you have to have carbohydrates. And so what the keto protocol wants you to do is cut those out for a certain period of time.
Right.
But you have to reintroduce those things. So what people make the mistake of doing is bringing back the ones that they did eat, the bad ones, and then they end up gaining all that weight back.
Yeah.
And so
I
there's
agree
good.
on those lines. Like
Yeah.
it's not something I could do like long term.
All the time.
Like it's definitely I'll get those sugar cravings or carb cravings, and I'll just go smash some candy bars. And
Yeah.
but I did notice like I could go good through the week, kind of mess up on the weekend, and take a day or two to get back, but I'm really not making progress. I'm still just maintaining.
Dude, that's my jam. Like 5 days a week, you're working, eat clean on the weekends. I'm not saying do whatever you want, but we did do a demo. We went to see the dietitians that John works with.
Nutrition diet.
I also just want to clarify too, real quick. Like,
Yeah.
I'm definitely not an advocate of keto. I agree with John. Like, it's about putting good things in your body.
Yeah, sometimes it's just
like
to jumpstart your change your brain up a little bit. Yeah,
You bet. You guys got to meet Captain Shana McClard.
Yes.
Who's our registered dietitian for the BOST, and then Miss Rachel Murray, who's the health promotion coordinator for the health promotion flight. So, and then they showed you a simple way to put together something healthy, specifically for
overnight oats.
Overnight
which
oats,
I took some, and they were delicious.
Yeah.
And
Is that what they made?
you can make them in
Yeah,
your
they
dorm
did.
rooms.
Overnight oats.
Yeah,
are
I guess
amazing.
that's we're asking. They can't cook in dorm rooms. You guys, eat at the DFAC or whatever. This is something you could do in your dorm room. If you wanted
Absolutely.
to.
So we want to keep it simple, and we also want to keep it healthy. And so, for the airmen in training, they have to go to the DFAC. They can't do any cooking in their dorm room. So if there's something outside of the DFAC that they want to do, that's something that they can put together fairly easily.
Awesome.
So,
Go to the commissary, buy healthy stuff, make it in your dorm room. You can
That's
do
up.
it.
You
Same
bet.
bread.
Options
Yeah.
are endless too.
So
Options are endless,
Before we take a break, we're gonna pass off and we're gonna show you how to make overnight oats real quick with our dietitians over at the Pizza Burger.
Do you have any footage of me eating the overnight oats?
No.
Hi, I'm Captain Shana McClard, and I'm the Operational Support Team Registered Dietitian. And with me today, I have Miss Rachel Murray, who's the Health Promotion Coordinator, and we are co-located at the Pittsburgher Gym and the Health Resiliency Center. Today, we're going to be showing you how to make a quick, convenient overnight oats. This is going to be something that's super simple, easy, quick, grab-and-go snack or meal that you can conveniently make in your dorms. All the recipe ingredients that we have here today, you are able to buy at the commissary, to include the small cups, which also have convenient dome lids that you can place on top. So you're able to easily make multiple meals or snacks and place in your refrigerator. So our first ingredient, I'm gonna have Miss Murray tell you a little bit about what is in the actual overnight oats to easily make them.
Okay, so first we're going to use about a half a cup of quick oats. You can do the 1 minute oats. We'll put that in each one of these little cups.
So it's 1/3 of a cup. So the key ingredient in this is going to be the fiber that's going to be beneficial. So most of us do not get adequate fiber intake on a daily basis. You need to at least try to get in 25 to 35 grams of fiber each day.
And then we have some unsweetened almond milk. So we'll do about a 1/3 cup of that.
So you can use any alternative milk. So we just happen to choose the vanilla unsweetened almond milk, but you can use 1% milk, skim milk, oat milk, coconut milk. So there is some protein in the vanilla almond milk. So that's going to be the beneficial component of the ingredient in this.
And then we have this is actually triple Oikos vanilla yogurt. You can use any yogurt or dairy-free yogurt if you would like. We'll do about a 1/3 cup of that.
So the key component with this is protein. So again, you can choose any Greek yogurt that you prefer. There are all kinds of dairy-free alternatives that you can choose from. We just so happen to choose this because it's lower in carbohydrates and higher in that protein. So typically about 12 to 15 grams of protein are going to be what you want to look for when you're choosing your yogurt. So you never want to go for the Yoplait. You always want to try to find an alternative like Greek yogurt.
And then actually you can use any fruit that you like. This is just some frozen fruit that we have chosen. So we have some blueberries and strawberries here. Like I said, fruit of your choice.
So again, you can find this at the commissary. So the main thing with the blueberries and strawberries is its high potassium content. So right now with the heat, it's getting real hot, making sure you stay hydrated. The main thing is trying to keep from cramping. So hydration is a key component, and potassium can help with the contraction of your muscles.
So again, about a 1/3 cup.
And again,
fruit.
fiber. So you get fiber from the skins of fruits and vegetables along with your grain items. So whole grain bread, your oats, your whole grain rice, quinoa, those are some good high fiber content foods. So ultimately, this whole overnight oats has about 5 grams of fiber. So it's gonna be high fiber content food. I'm sorry, 10 grams of fiber.
And then to top it off, just to add a little more fiber and nutrients, we have some chia seeds here. These are great on all types of stuff. You can add them to your salads, you can add them to your oats, just to give you a little extra fiber and omegas.
So the key component in the chia seeds is gonna be omega-3s, which is good for decreasing inflammation within your body. So like she said, you can add it to essentially anything. It doesn't have a taste, really more so it has a texture, so it kind of creates like a gel-like texture to it. But it's good to always add this at least one time a day, about a teaspoon to any food or beverage of your choice. So again, as you can see, it only took about maybe 45 seconds to make. You can make multiple, stick them in your refrigerator, grab them and go on a daily basis. So again, we showed you how to make a meal. So there's a little bit of a difference between a meal and a snack. So I wanted to provide you with the macronutrient breakdown. So for this particular cup of overnight oats, it's about 325 calories, 45 grams of carbs, 15 grams of protein, and 4.5 grams of fat. And again, there's 10 grams of fiber. So we get our energy from our macronutrients, which are your protein, your fat, and your carbohydrates. So if you were to want to turn this into a snack, you would just simply cut each ingredient in half, because a snack is about 15 to 20 grams of carbohydrates. So again, the ingredients that we have in this quick overnight convenient grab and go oats is very convenient. One, because you're able to interchange the ingredients in the recipe. So one of my favorite recipes for this is apple and cinnamon. So what I like to do is add everything that we said. So the half a cup of oats, 1/3 cup of milk, 1/3 cup of Greek yogurt, and then I'll cut up about half of an apple, toss it in local honey and a little bit of cinnamon and a little bit of vanilla, and pop it into the top of your oats, and you can either have it cold or hot in the morning. Another one that I really like is half of a banana and some peanut butter, and it makes it a little bit more creamy. So again, if you don't like blueberries and strawberries, you're able to interchange those ingredients and make it how you prefer to eat it. For more resources and recipes, please go to choosemyplate.gov. If you have any additional questions or would like some tips and tricks and some additional education, please stop by the Health Resiliency Center and see Health Promotions. Thank you for joining us today.
Hey, welcome back to the Sheppard Show. Thanks to our dietitians, nutritionists,
Registered dietitian.
for giving us that awesome cooking demo over at the Pizza Burger.
And it was delicious.
I wouldn't know. I didn't try, but James vouches for it.
Snack
so
attack.
I hope
It sounds like it didn't have a chance.
Yeah,
it was gone.
But I hope you do try that out when you get a chance. So, moving on. You may be watching this thinking to yourself, hey, I go to the gym like 5 days a week. I already know all this stuff. I know proper form and that I've already adopted this thing in my life. But let's flip the script real quick. John.
Okay, young person.
Hello, AITs.
Yeah, wait till you die inside a little bit.
For people watching this that are considering themselves healthy or whatever, can you talk about like burnout or common mistakes that you see people make while they're at the gym? Maybe.
Absolutely. I think, the biggest, the most common things that people make the mistake of is doing the same thing over and over again.
Oh, yeah.
And not knowing how to change things up. So what a lot of people do is they see what other people do when they're in the gym and they do the same things, and then they do that for a while, and it's like, okay, what's the next step, And so what you need to do is maybe change things up, just kind of keep it general. Change the activities that you're doing up. Maybe learn something different that you're doing in the gym. Pick another machine. The other thing is changing up what we call volume and intensity. So sets and reps. The weight that you're using. Maybe for if you're doing some weightlifting stuff, maybe doing some lightweight with high reps. Maybe a little bit heavier weight with lower reps when it comes to weightlifting. You can do the same thing with your
James.
What?
Heavyweight with low reps.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
that's him at work. I'm just kidding.
There you go. And then you can do it with cardio as well. So
that's
what we call high interval intensity training, HIIT. You probably have heard of HIIT before. So So what that basically means, just to try to keep it as simple as possible, you can get more bang for your buck in a shorter amount of time than, say, spending 30, 45, 60 minutes on a cardio machine. So what we want to do is change up the intensity for a few minutes, drop the intensity, change it up a little bit, and instead of doing 30, 45 minutes, we do 15, 20, 30 minutes.
Right.
And so we're still burning the same amount of calories if we do something long, low intensity for a long period of time, 30 to 45 minutes. We can do it in short intervals and change up that intensity during that short period of time.
I hate cardio, bro.
Chris, what's your
Cardio's
favorite
wrong,
exercise at the gym, or what's your favorite routine or whatever when it comes to whether that's HIIT or whether that's heavyweight or lightweight? Like what's your balance?
Oh, I much rather would try to do HIIT most times, but some days, like, my mind's not there. Some days I'm just like, I'll start a HIIT program and then I'm like, yeah, maybe I'll just do some slow, steady cardio today. Like, and then, but that's also a big thing too, is recovery. I mean, recovering right, making sure we're stretching and eating proper things, and getting enough sleep is
Which I think
huge.
is also new, right? Like,
Yeah.
you used to get, when we were kids, like, no one stretched before you were
God,
working
man.
out. And stuff.
That's-
You get
you know,
I
ridiculous.
thought it was. I think just like speed back in the day, it couldn't be taught, and
Right.
also like you were only as flexible as you were. Like, didn't
Right.
think you could.
You
really,
couldn't improve it.
Yeah,
Right.
absolutely.
And that's a
yeah.
great segue. One of the few thing, a big thing that most people leave out of their routine is what I call mobility and flexibility. And in order to get stronger, you have to have mobility and flexibility. And I think we talked about that maybe in the deadlift segment. In order to get into those proper positions, specifically when you're doing weightlifting movements, you have to have the mobility and flexibility to be able to get into those certain positions and those certain
For
shapes.
sure, man.
And so if you don't have the mobility and the flexibility, that's what we call restrictions, then a lot of times that ends up becoming an injury. And so it's very, very important that not only we do the cardio and the strength, but we also got to do the mobility and the flexibility as well. That has to be part of your program. So
It's a
What are your
whole
thoughts
package.
on
Yeah.
like the whole notion about you don't want to stretch too much because you lose elasticity in your muscles before you work out?
that's a great, that's an old adage. So what we want to try to do before we work out is we want to stretch in motion, and that's what mobility is.
Mhm.
So we don't want to hold a stretch for a certain period of time. That's called static stretching. So that type of stretching we want to save until after we finish our workout. So basically, not to kind of nerd out on everybody here, but so what
No,
happens?
please.
Yeah. So what happens is if I statically stretch, I actually shut down the nervous system part of my muscles. And so if I do something explosive, like maybe getting on the treadmill, or I do an explosive weightlifting movement like the deadlift, I can end up pulling or tearing that muscle because the nervous system is shut down. And so what we want to make sure that we do is when we do stretch out, it needs to be something in motion to where we excite the nervous system, we excite the muscular system, we get our heart rate up. Now we're prepared to exercise.
Yeah, like
Okay?
those
Good little sweat
huggy-
going before you get going.
Absolutely.
Yeah, those huggy arm flaps.
Yeah.
Like
So
burpees.
static
Some
stretching
cherry
is,
pickers.
Yeah.
there you go.
Those,
And,
like,
yeah,
like
and
the
that's
scoop. Yeah, yeah.
and
I know
that's
what you're
and that's an example of doing something mobile,
That makes sense.
mobility wise. And so what we want to try to do is say that static stretching is good. That old school static stretching is good, but we want to save it until after we're done.
It's more recovery.
Right. It doesn't prevent injury, but it helps in recovery.
Speaking
Awesome.
of recovery,
Yeah. Just when you thought you knew it
That's
all and
a-
you're in the gym 5 days a week, you always got more to learn.
yeah, true that.
So, but we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to ask more questions. I don't know which ones yet,
They'll be about fitness.
but stick around. See you soon.
Hey, welcome back to the Sheppard Show. We're still talking about fitness. I wanted to kind of touch on how fitness has changed just since I was a kid. So I'll be 42 this year. Oh my God.
Golly.
I know. All right.
You
But I
know what?
remember-
You're looking good for 42.
Yeah, thanks. I appreciate
bet.
you, John.
No problem.
Minus the haircut.
I can't.
Zinga.
Yeah. There's an interview with Arnold Schwarzenegger on like Carson, I think. We'll try to find
Yeah,
this.
yeah, yeah.
But he's talking about, they're like marveling at him because,
He's Mr. Universe.
He's the most in shape dude ever. and they're asking
It's
him about
not a
like,
tumor.
Yeah, it's not a tumor. They're asking him about like fitness, and he's saying all these things now that are like, oh yeah, obviously. But I remember specifically they're talking about like jogging, and like the actress on there who's very gorgeous and smoking like the world's longest cigarette. She's like, oh, I can't possibly run, darling. Like, I'm not gonna do that. And how
man.
ridiculous that sounds.
Right.
I wouldn't jog if my life depended on it.
Why?
Oh, thank you.
Jogging is a very good exercise.
I have nothing against jogging, but it's just that when I work, I mean, everything goes into the work, so that when I'm not working, which is rare, then, I mean, my behind is glued to the sofa. I mean, I am not gonna move.
Fitness wasn't always like a cool thing, right? Like,
Yeah, it's kind of, well, and I think bodybuilding had a lot to do with that. It was kind of outside the norm, but fitness as a whole wasn't kind of a general thing for everybody. And I think a lot of that had to do with, we have to, kind of go back 30, 40, 50 years and look at culture and look at, society. Most jobs back then were physically active.
Yeah.
So the key factor, the X factor there is that the computer has basically kind of taken over majority of occupations.
Yeah.
And so now we've become very sedentary, sitting behind a desk. And one of my favorites that I kind of follow is Dr. Kelly Starrett. He's owner of CrossFit San Francisco and a physical therapist. He said sitting is basically the new smoking because it plays havoc on the body. And so, if people are sitting 7 to 8 hours a day, it just wrecks the body. And so, so people didn't need to go out and think about and go out and exercise because they got it in their jobs, because they were so physically active.
Yeah. Why would they?
From 9 to 5.
Like,
Yeah, absolutely. And so now, we have to think about that, get out from behind our desk and be physically active. So I think that's kind of the bad side of society. But, to kind of segue into, the good part of technology has given us access to so many resources. And I think that's been the good part. And then the other thing is, everybody's got the technology trackers on their wrist now. And so, we can get some health numbers from the watches that we wear, from the software that we can tap into on our tablets and our watches and our laptops. And so a lot of people are conscious about their health and trying to do something about it. So I think that's a good side of technology.
Yeah.
So
I think it gives you
there's
access.
pluses and minuses.
Yeah, for sure. I think it also gives you access to like a community if you don't have one. If you're like a rural person and you can be a part of a fitness community.
Absolutely. And I think if you're not somebody that has that internal drive, you say, hey, this is a high priority for me, and I've got to do it every day. People can find that support system.
Sure,
and I think that's very important. That's the mental aspect of fitness. And so, I think what people have to think about is, where's a priority for fitness in your daily schedule? Is it a high priority? Is it a low priority? And so for airmen in training, for our permanent personnel, for active duty folks, it has to be a high priority, not because of the fitness test like we've talked about before, because we've got to be fit to fight.
Right.
Mm-hmm. We've got to be able to handle anything.
It all boils down to.
That's what it all boils down to, is, are we ready to deploy at a moment's notice?
Yep.
Yeah. So, John, final thoughts
Sure.
to our AIT.
You just want me to run with it?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. The take-home message is, you got to make fitness a high priority. And I can't say it enough. It's not about the fitness test. It's about being ready for the fight. And so optimizing your fitness in terms of, it's got to be well-rounded. You can't be doing fitness just for the fitness test, but you got to be doing fitness for whatever might be coming at you. So it's got to be the mobility. It's got to be the flexibility. It's got to be the strength. It's got to be the cardio. And the foundation is the nutrition.
Fitness for your life.
That's where it starts.
Chris,
That makes sense.
final thoughts.
Final thoughts.
Better be poignant.
Fitness is an ongoing journey. It's something that we do every day. I think the biggest thing is trying to get a little better every day. Kind of like we were talking about how our job settings have changed with, we're mostly working behind computers nowadays. I think a big thing is, every hour to 2 hours, go take a 10 to 15 minute walk. Just be active. I've you know, I keep track of my steps, and it's been a big thing for me. I try to get 15 to 20,000 steps a day. If I get 50 to 20,000 steps, I feel like it's a pretty active day.
Yeah. And to add on to that real quick, find something that you like to do and do it consistently. If you do it consistently, then it becomes a high priority, and then you plug it in as part of your day.
Yeah.
So,
and I'd say also along those lines, like I said earlier, personal training at the fitness center is free. If none of this made sense to you, come talk to us at the fitness center.
You got the resources.
We'll definitely do a fitness evaluation for you.
Judgment free.
Make a fitness plan. Judgment free.
There you go.
What's the?
Yeah, I don't
what's
know.
the word they
we
use?
can't plug them anyway.
Clunk.
Is it no clunking?
I don't know.
No.
I don't go to the gym.
Whatever the word is, we allow the clunking.
I can just say, clunking. Chris is a good super dude for me. You can give the operational support team a holler. We're pretty busy with the unit that we're embedded with, but if we have the time, we'll definitely you can come see us, and we'll try to help you out the best we can.
Beautiful.
But in the immortal words of Arnold Schwarzenegger, just do it.
Just do it. You heard it. Stop being lazy. John, Chris, I'm inspired. That's our show today. I think I'm going to go to the gym right now.
I'm going to go with you.
What?
All right.